This video is brought to you by Joa, maker of premium Tesla and vehicle accessories. Claim your discount by using the link in the description below.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another full self-driving supervised video. We are on the latest version 13.2.6 and we're going into downtown to get it a little more congested, a little more busy, and push the system a little bit more than we did in the first video. Starting out here with several left turns, unprotected left turns that we have to do here. And FSD has been really, really good. It's been good for most of version 13. I still have found some stuff to pick on, but even this latest, like it's just a 0.2, 0.6, you know, it's like kind of the third decimal place there update. And there were no new release notes. I have noticed, and I've heard from other people too, that there were some nice improvements in especially hesitancy and waiting, which is something I talk about a lot because it's always been kind of a thing where the car just kind of waits too long sometimes. And even though it's been improving over the years, it still is something that could improve upon more. So right there, how you saw that preemptive, we almost turned into that vehicle. It might freak some people out or be a little too much for certain people, but for the most part, you pretty much have to show your intentions as you're moving through traffic. You're not going to sit there, not move a muscle until traffic is totally clear and there's no cars on the road, and then wait 2 more seconds and then go. That kind of confuses the people around you, and that's something that these latest updates, especially this one we're on right now, have really nailed. In like, we stop at the stop sign and then we go. You just saw it there. I think, yep, we're about to do another stop sign here. So let's really pay attention to what you're going to see, which is we're going to stop. We're slowing a little bit here for that tight spot with the garbage cans. That was nice. We're going to stop at this stop sign if there's nobody there. I'm going to hope that this one's clear. All right, well, we have a couple of pedestrians, but watch this. So we're going to get to the stop sign. We're rolling up to it. We'll get our 0. So we stop right there, and it's clear, so we start to move forward. It is hard to see to the left because there's some bushes, but man, we creeped right up. As soon as the car could see that there were no vehicles coming, and as soon as I could see, boom, it took off. Let's see it one more time here. So we'll stop. There's nobody else. 0 and go. I mean, pretty much immediately we're moving forward there. So that's really, really nice to see. Let me get this destination out of here and let the car kind of figure out what it wants to do. And it's actually messing up here because that's a one-way. Oh, it didn't go in there. So it's still thinking about it. What are you doing? You juking me out here? I'm going to report it. And I think that the main reason that it didn't go in there is because I changed the route, which I was planning on doing anyway. But that is a one-way, and the car still cannot read signs, and so you have to look out for that. I don't know if she's waiting for us or what's going on here. I don't know. She's still just standing there. Alrighty. So the other thing I want to talk about is Hardware 3 people. I've been getting some DMs for you. I no longer own a Hardware 3 vehicle. This is a Hardware 4 Model Y, and then of course I have the Cybertruck, which is also Hardware 4. And so I don't have a Hardware 3 vehicle, but there are other channels that are covering, they still have Hardware 3. They still talk about it. They still make videos about it. So, if you're looking for that, I don't currently have, a vehicle that can do that. So waiting for this guy, which is the right thing to do. But just search that up and you will find other channels that are covering that. And what I've heard is that the latest update, they just got an update along with us. We're actually on the same software version, which is kind of a first. Tesla's really keeping all these versions together. That person just cut us off. That was great. It was our right of way, turning right there, but that's all right. The Hardware 3 update that people just got, which I think is 12.6.3 or something like that. It's kind of like almost a reversal of what we have. They've been having a good time too. So their first jump into the mini version 13 that Hardware 3 people got, I heard was not that great. And people were like, oh, it's cool that you can do that it can do certain things and it's better in certain spots, but there's a lot still that feels really goofy. Whereas this latest one that it just received, I guess feels a lot better. So I haven't watched a whole ton, but I've been reading what people have been saying about it, and they've been happier with this one. So awesome. We're going into, like I said, this tighter downtown, and on the earnings call, they were kind of talking about look, FSD is really, really good, and I agree that things are improving. This is cool how we're kind of preemptively moving over here. Very nice. It saw that road was closed. The person behind us let us in, which was really nice. And it's pay attention to your safety related disengagements, and you'll see that there aren't very many, and they're definitely reduced compared to the past. We have a lot more safety related, or a lot less safety related disengagements than we had in the past. And we can try to ignore all my preferences and your preferences. And speed limit, is that a safety related thing? If I don't want it to go 5 over, would you count that as safety related if I lower the speed because it's going too fast? there's some debate there. But if we talk like strictly, let's say like imminent collision type like disengagements, they're very rare. Personally, I don't think they're rare enough. I threw up this picture online. You can see, I'll put it here, where this semi was turning right, and sometimes, or they were turning left, and sometimes semis have to use a couple of lanes to make their turns, and FSD was just going to go right up next to him. So I had to stop it back there. Was that an imminent collision? No. It wasn't going to crash into the semi. It was just going to go into a stupid spot and get in their way. Was it safety related? I would say so, because either number one, that semi driver doesn't see that I did that and kind of squishes me as he makes that turn, or number two, I like ruin his day and he has to make a even wider turn, potentially causing other issues. So obviously there's still stuff to look out for, but if Tesla gets this in, again, we're talking about this thing again, a couple like geo-fenced areas where they're like, we're only going to do it in this, like they do now. They have the cars in Texas driving themselves to their end destination from the factory line, which is really, I mean, that is amazing. It's such a cool use of that technology. And I think we all kind of saw that would be coming up. So let me pause it here because this is something that usually gets messed up. Nope. All right. Nice job getting into the correct lane here. So this keeps like going back and forth where sometimes the car gets in this correct lane to go straight. Other times it stays in the left turn lane and turns left. I've seen humans mess this up too. It's kind of weird that you have to move to the right to go straight, but whatever. So it's very cool use of the self-driving technology for the cars to move themselves around the factory. It's, I don't know, over a mile, maybe 2 miles or something. And that's, whoa. Okay. Wow. All right. That, and I can't even report it. Why can't I report it? What is going on? All right. So I'm calling that a safety-related disengagement. Was it an imminent collision? No, it was not an imminent collision, but it was going to run a red light. Now, it brings up something that I did want to talk about. Yeah, you yell at me. You're the one trying to run red lights. What the heck is going on here? It does bring something else I wanted to talk about. FSD. So you could see that it tried to run that red light. No excuses. That was like really dumb. But it then quickly turned green after. And what I've noticed is FSD definitely preempts the green light change. I don't know how it's doing it. I don't even know why it's doing it. It's not particularly like a useful feature. But so many times you can hear, like, not with me talking all the time, but if you're in your own, Tesla, you can hear the brake kind of moving around and doing stuff down there as the car is like going to make its next move or whatever. And you'll be at a red light and you'll hear the brake kind of release and you're like, what are you doing? And then the light turns green and the car's like already starting to roll and you're like, is that a coincidence? Like, what's going on? But it happens all the time. So FSD will preempt those green lights, but it'll then make mistakes sometimes. I have not seen this version do that before, so I'm glad I caught it on video. But it will sometimes make a mistake like what you just saw, where it preempts like way too early. So we have the green here. We should move up into that intersection. Oh, this is such terrible placement. Like, you need to roll up there. I don't know why it's going to miss this whole light cycle if it doesn't move up. And so this is the thing. Tesla's like, oh yeah, you only need to do safety. Like, this wasn't safety related, but it was really dumb. And now we missed the whole light cycle because it didn't move up. All right, let's skip over this red light. All right, so that guy's walking on a no walk. We're not moving. So I have to push the accelerator here just to tap to at least get it in the intersection, or it's never going to proceed. So that's like a really weird, it's handled this intersection really well in the past. It is a busy intersection. There's a reason I include it in these drives. There's lots of cars. This guy's basically running a yellow and like you have to go. So it is going through that red like it should, because we're in the intersection. You have to complete the maneuver. The person behind me went as well, because what are you going to do if you don't kind of move through there? You're never going to make it. So that's pretty disappointing actually to see it get stuck back at that line. I have no idea why it wouldn't move into the intersection, which is what you're supposed to do. Now, I've gotten some, pushback from you guys on like, oh, well, you're actually not supposed to move into the intersection. And it brings me back to, I'll give you a mini story. When I was doing my driver training test, and I passed the first time, just so you know. And I was doing that test, and we came up to that scenario, a left turn at a green light, not a green arrow where you had to yield. And it turns green, and I move up into the intersection, and I wait, and I wait, and I wait, and then I turn left, and whatever. He didn't say, my driver instructor, the guy doing the test, didn't say anything, whatever. We finished the test. He goes, well, you did pretty good. You're going to pass today. He's like, but I do not like that you moved into the intersection, in the middle of the intersection on the green lights. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to wait back at the stop line and go when it's clear. And I was like, whoa. I was always kind of taught. I don't know if it was, just my mom or what I saw on TV or my actual driving instructor, but I was always taught you're supposed to like get up there so that you're ready to make the maneuver. And I've talked about the same thing in these videos, and you guys are like, no, you're supposed to wait back at the line. But in that example, you can see why you can't always wait at the line. You can't do it because you'll never go. Especially, I mean, this isn't even that busy. It's like moderately busy right now. There's like just a few other cars and pedestrians around. Like imagine an actual super busy city, like New York. You go to downtown New York, you'd never move anywhere if you did that. So it's an interesting, oh, nice job moving into this correct lane here. It's an interesting kind of problem to deal with, like what you're technically supposed to do versus what you need to do to safely move around. But FSD usually is dynamic enough to handle all that. And just, I don't know, for whatever reason, in that one intersection that we just saw, it wasn't very good. So we'll keep going here and see if it can handle the rest. But there, we have a disengagement and an intervention already. And this is why we keep doing the tougher downtown tests to find this stuff, because when I just do my A to Bs, it's pretty good. I don't think I've had an A to B really like disengagement, especially on video in a long time. Alrighty, this is not even what I meant to do, but we're about to do a full circle in this roundabout to kind of turn around and go back the other way. So I'll take it. That was actually a mistake, and I just picked a few spots. And whatever, this came about. So do the full circle there. Beautiful. Roundabouts have been good for a long time. Even version 12 really nailed roundabouts. We went from, before version 12, you'd get like 50-50 where roundabouts were perfect and the other 50 roundabouts were a miserable failure. There was no like decent. And then with version 12, it was like 90%, maybe even more than that, doing really well. Turn signals are still a little awkward. You're supposed to, I don't know, I'm not going to go over it, but it does them wrong sometimes. Sometimes it does them right. Sometimes it does them wrong. Other times it doesn't do them at all. So. Nice gentle stop for these pedestrians. We were kind of rolling through that turn, which was appropriate, and they kind of came out as we could see them. And FSD didn't slam on the brakes, it didn't panic, it didn't freak out, it just very gently came to a stop, which was really nice. And this intersection, we're taking from a different direction today. Usually there's more pedestrians here, but not today, and bam. So I think that minivan actually got there before us, but because they were blocked by a pedestrian, we could kind of take that, which was good. Got some cardboard in the road that FSD just drives over. Let's see what the person behind us does. They also just drive over it, so I guess FSD is doing the same thing as a human. That's fine, I'm not worried about that. And we'll stop here. We should wait for these pedestrians. Some awkwardness over on the other side, but FSD flows through very nicely. So we can see these pedestrians like planning to cross, and we slow down way early for them. We hit the headlight flashing from the other Y. We'll say hello to them. And it was just really good. I actually felt like we were going a little fast through there. And we hit the limit, so I'm glad I had my max limit on there because I didn't want to really go any faster. But FSD was still able to easily identify that those pedestrians wanted to cross, slowed way far back, gave them plenty of room. So all of that was really nice. I was happy with that. So there's a stop. We are clear to go. Man, it just rolls through there so nicely. And then we have another crosswalk here, which again, we're rolling towards them, but slow enough. Man, I just love it. And then we slow down a little bit more, cautiously moving through there. All of that feels so good and really, really natural. All right, so we have another unprotected left here. Looks like we're gonna probably roll through it. Nope, because we got a pedestrian we need to wait for. I'm glad we're in the intersection. This is what we need to do. We need to be in here. It's yellow, but we're gonna flow through like we're supposed to do. That's absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Very weird, that other intersection. I wonder why it did that. Whoops, I pushed the wrong ellipses. All right, let's get this out of here. And I may, shut up. What are you gonna do? You wanna turn left up there? I'm gonna take over here, and I'm gonna go through that same intersection again, just to see if we get stuck there again. So we're not gonna have like, a perfect FSD drive. I mean, we already don't. So I'm watching, man, there's so much to look at. You take for granted like all the things that FSD can see when you're throwing your head back and forth looking at all these pedestrians thinking of crossing the street. All right, where are you going to go? All right, cool. That's what I want. So I'm just going to have it go this way and go through that same intersection again and see if it'll get stuck. Of course, now we'll need to go straight, so it'll be a little easier, but still will be interesting to see what it does. All right, so pretty tight spot here. We're just going to wait. And, oh, she looked mad. What are you mad about? Whoa, she looked so mad. I thought what FSD did was perfect. There really wasn't much room, so it just kind of was like, all right, we'll just wait for her to go. It's her turn anyway. She just was very mad. Okay, what is this? No. No. What are you doing? This is awful. We'll report that. Let's see if it'll go around him. There we go. Interesting. So, oh, that's too, nope. Too close. Holy crap. Holy crap. That was a disengagement there. You'll see better with the roof cam how close we were, and you can kind of judge if I really needed to take over there or not, but that was way too close from my point of view right now, live action. You got to remember when you're watching the video, it's a lot easier to, you could pause it, you can think about it. I'm like, we're not doing that. So, interesting though, FSD got confused by the guy sitting there. He had his hazards on, so to you and I, it's obvious. Oh, they're parked there, go around them. But FSD saw the red light, the parked car, I guess with active lights, and thought they were waiting to turn right. As soon as it turned green, they didn't move. I loved that FSD picked up, like, oh, they're not moving, let's get around them. But then it just got way too close to their car for my comfort. Alrighty, so we went through that last intersection, no problem. This one's a little more congested. We'll wait for this scooter nicely and move through here. Very nice. Pulled us right through there. And that's pretty much, I think, where I want to go. We'll get out of downtown at least. Let the car get us out of downtown, then we'll wrap it up. So as we exit downtown here, we had the 2 disengagements, 1 intervention in 4-mile drive, maybe 5 by the time I'm done with this video. And, again, it's like, so the first one with the red light, and I'm not like defending that in any way, but I'm kind of preemptively responding to some of the types of comments I get. Because people will tell me like, oh, that doesn't matter. There was nobody there. Like, I legit will get comments when I stop it from going through a red light where people are like, yeah, but nobody was there, so you should have just left it. Like, no, come on. Number 1, you're supposed to send the data back to Tesla. Number 2, I ain't getting a ticket for going through a red light. Number 3, it's illegal, so you just shouldn't do it anyway. And was that like a huge, dangerous, crazy scenario? No. But it's still wrong, and it's still, like, shouldn't do it. It's like the most obvious first thing about driving that you learn is you stop on red and you go on green. Shouldn't even be a conversation. I don't know why I'm spending so much time on it. It tried to run a red light, and it was wrong, so that was really stupid. The intervention is also kind of crazy to me because we missed a whole light cycle. You could see the car didn't budge for the first green light. It turned red, turned green again. It didn't budge again until I tapped the accelerator and it moved into the intersection, and then it completed everything after the light turned red. How long are you supposed to just sit there and wait? Are these robo-taxis going to come out and get in a slightly, barely congested scenario and then just sit there for 20 minutes until a teleoperator looks at them and, clicks the, oh, it's okay, go ahead button? I mean, I get it. Like, yes, the safety related things are minimal, but it doesn't mean that everything is like perfect and working great. Those little things that we have to interact with here and there still matter a lot, in my opinion. With all that said, it's still working really well, and I enjoy using it. I use it for pretty much all my driving. And again, when I'm not going into downtown, when I'm just doing a normal drive trying to get somewhere, it pretty much does everything. Very rarely do I run into those scenarios like the one I said with the semi where it's going to pull up next to it. It's not rare enough, but it's pretty rare. And then the other disengagement where it just got too close, that could have just been me, but I think it was way too close. You'll have seen it in the roof cam. But overall, yeah, we got 5 miles out of this one, 2 disengagements, 1 intervention. Hope you enjoyed. You will see me in FSD in the next video.